What's up, guys? It's Jensen and welcome to another video. So today the Bulls announced that they're going to break up the front office of John Paxson and Gar Forman. Gar Pax, as they're called. Obviously, Bulls fans, many of them have hated this front office duo for many years. And to be honest, this move today, it was such an influential move. It's made me believe that the Bulls are going to make the playoffs next year. But not because of Gar Pax or any of that. I'm thinking now the Bulls will fire Jim Boylen. That's what really gets me excited. When we look at Jim Boylen, he's a bad head coach, guys. As an assistant coach, I think he would be pretty good. We saw what he did in San Antonio under Greg Popovich. But as a head coach, this dude, we see that he doesn't really have time management. We've seen him use timeouts at completely random times. The players don't like him. He's just too old school, honestly. He pushes the guys too hard. He reminds me of like Greg Popovich, except with no respect. So the players don't really like him. They don't really connect to him. I think they need a guy like Kenny Atkinson, a guy whom the players can connect to. We saw Kenny Atkinson develop some of those dudes in Brooklyn. We saw a guy like D'Angelo Russell emerge from a prospect to an all-star. Spencer Dinwiddie, other dudes. We've seen him emerge under a guy like Kenny Atkinson. That's what gets me excited. Let's just assume that the Bulls, as well as getting a new GM, they also get another coach, a new one, like Kenny Atkinson. I mean, look at the roster. Talent is not an issue. The backcourt of Kobe White and Zach LaVine, these dudes can put the ball in the bucket. And in terms of Kobe White, I was a little concerned at first that he might not be the Bulls franchise point guard because I wasn't sure how great of a passer he'd be. I think he's shown enough potential this year that he could be a good passer. But mainly it's because of his ability to put the ball in the bucket. We know that. Zach LaVine, as we all know, he's an all-star caliber talent. Hopefully he continues to work on his defense, because if he gets his defense as well as where his offense is right now, this dude is scoring over 25 points per game. That is a deadly backcourt. Those dudes could put the ball in the bucket. I mean, that would be scary for anyone. When we're looking at Wendell Carter Jr., I think Bulls fans need to stop acting like this guy's expendable. He really isn't. He does the dirty work. He sets good screens. He finishes in the paint. He's a solid rebounder. I really feel like this dude, he could be the glue guy, kind of like Al Horford was for the Atlanta Hawks back in the day, and even the Celtics in those first couple years. I think that Al Horford, that's kind of a good comparison for what Wendell Carter can do in the future. And if Wendell Carter could get a consistent jump shot, that makes him even more deadly. I'm hoping that Lauri Markkanen under a new head coach can continue to develop, because we know that this dude at his peak, this dude can average 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. I mean, we know that. So I think that with a new head coach, we might finally see Lauri develop. I think that he could be as good as a guy like Kristaps Porzingis, because even though he might not be as good defensively, in terms of the offensive side, he could certainly be something like Porzingis. I'm hoping with the number 7 overall pick, assuming the Bulls don't really jump up in the lottery, which is highly unlikely. Hopefully they could get a guy like Issac Kokoro. This was a small forward at Auburn. He seems to be very versatile. He's a good defender. Doesn't really need the ball in his hands to make an impact. I think that's the kind of guy that the Bulls need right now. Kobe White and Zach LaVine will have the ball in their hands most of the time. Get a guy like Okoro, and maybe, you can keep Otto Porter Jr. if he keeps his player option. And I think that a starting lineup next year with Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Otto Porter, at least to start the year, Lauri Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr., with everyone healthy. And then off the bench, you could have Otto Porter Jr., Thaddeus Young, who is a versatile power forward, and Daniel Gafford. This dude has shown that he might even be a starting caliber center one day. That's good enough to make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. I think that's good enough to get an 8 seed. And if some of these dudes really step up next year, I mean, the Bulls could be closer to that 5 seed range, maybe. I really feel like the Bulls, they're ready to finally make that leap into the playoffs. It's just a matter of finding the right head coach. Even a good GM, if they can find some gems in the second round, like they did with Gafford, maybe a new GM could do the same thing. But ultimately, I think that this new move of getting rid of Gar Pax and finding a new GM, ultimately the news of Boylen ultimately matters, because if they get rid of Boylen, I think that will ultimately signal that the Bulls are ready to make the leap. That's all I had to say, though. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I'll be praying for NFL and NBA hot takes as the season goes on, and have a good day. Remember to follow me on Twitter, Jensen Sports. See y'all later.